Good afternoon guys and welcome back to some more mid-handicap driver testing. Dave is back, Dave is fired up for some more testing, and today we are talking Strixon. So a brand, and you'll see we've also got Mizunos that we're doing out here today, but Strixon very much a brand that we don't see a lot on fitting
gets missed
cars.
out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets missed out. Again, price point straight away guys, this is looking around about £100 cheaper than the Callaway Paradigm, which so far is Dave's favourite. 529 roughly they're retailing at. These are down at 430. So
yep.
Today we are using the most forgiving driver they have. So we've got the ZX5 Mark II. So it's not the low spinning one, it is the most forgiving. So again, if we're thinking mid-handicap, if we're thinking Dave's speed, this would be the one that a lot of people would send Dave into.
You'd hope so.
We have been inside and we have done some testing already, which we're going to put on the screen shortly. We're going to hit a few out here. Dave's going to talk about what he thinks regards to the looks of the driver, the sound of the driver and how it feels, and then we're going to talk about performance. We've seen what it's done inside, we want to see what it's going to do out here on the golf course. So we're going to get straight into this guys. We're going to get Dave hitting straight away and then we're going to talk numbers and performance. Let's go Dave. So we're on the second here at Waterfront Golf. So a tough driving shot. Dave's going to aim up the right.
I am on generally, because generally I have a feeling this is going to go a bit left because it's got a draw bias on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, so most forgiving, like most drivers in all ranges, this is actually designed to be a straight flight or a little bit draw biased if anything, which we know Dave's bad shot is left, so this might not be a driver that would fit Dave into.
Having said that,
and he sent it up the right hand side. It is drawing back nicely.
Yeah, it's alright that.
It's in the right hand rough. So again Dave, feel and sound off that driver?
Do you know, it sounded quite nice.
Yeah.
And I like the look of it. It's got a look of kind of last year's Callaway, you know, on the top, sort of matte finish with those lines around it. Yeah, nice, like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Right, let's get up there, see where this one's gone in regards to distance, and then let's get on to the third hole here at Waterfront before we test these drivers out, the ST Mizuno range. We're up here at the ball now, so up the right hand side here of the fairway on the second, so certainly looking at last week where we used all the Callaway drivers. Not as far, Dave?
Not as far, unexpectedly up the right though, but
yeah, and we'll get to that guys when we go.
It's not as far, but it's not £100 less, is it?
No, exactly. It's not as far, and be interesting. We'll get to the numbers shortly after we hit a shot over there on the third tee. We'll talk about what the difference in distance was and what Trackman was saying in regards to how far it went in comparison to Dave's favourite driver, the standard Paradigm. So let's get over to the third now on a tough, tight tee shot and go from there. Dave is just admiring the nice matte finish on the top of this driver. What it also has, it has two flex zones, so they are saying that this driver will give you more ball speed. Again, for a mid-handicap golfer with an average swing speed, that's probably what you're looking for.
It's got a rebound frame, Chris.
And it's got a rebound frame, which again is trying to generate that more ball speed. It's also got a face with variable thickness, so they've changed the weight, they've spread it differently throughout the face, so your off-centered hits again are coming off faster. So
could be handy that.
Could be handy because we know Dave and all of us don't hit the centre of the face all the time. So
very often.
Again, the most forgiving one, but interesting guy. If you are somebody who loses the ball to the left, just like Dave, going straight out and buying a driver that is the most forgiving is not always the best thing to do, because a lot of them, like we say, are draw biased, because a lot of golfers, including myself when I was beginning to play golf, lost the golf ball to the right. I mean, I still do that now. Still lose it to the right, so a lot of the times people go and buy a draw bias driver. A lot of the forgiving ones are that way, but it's not always going to help you, and that's what you need to take into account. What shot shape do you have? We saw in previous weeks with the Paradigm X driver was the most forgiving, but it's draw bias. Dave hit that a little bit further left than when he got the fade bias driver, where we changed the weight at the back in the standard Paradigm, and we saw dispersion was much better and distance was just as consistent. And with this driver guys, we'll put the numbers on screen now from inside. You'll see front to back dispersion was very consistent, so an average of 223 yards, so around about 10 yards down on the Paradigm.
Yeah.
So we did see, obviously, in the other drivers, which we'll be going through in the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks, we did see some differences in ones that went a little bit further, but nice and consistent here. We had them, and I'll put them all on screen now. You'll see we've had a 221, we've had a 222, 223, another 223, and the average works out right around there. So we can see just a little bit shorter, but like we've said with the dispersion on screen now, you can see that with the draw bias, Dave did hit 4 to the left and 1 ever so slightly right. So a very common theme, which is what we're trying to get Dave away from. Going into the season, we want to see Dave having a driver where he can feel like he can aim down the middle and he doesn't think, right, I'm going to lose this left.
Which has been a common problem for me, Chris, over the last few years.
And it has, and we saw in the last tee box, Dave has probably aimed a little bit up the right because of what he's seen on the driving range.
Thinking it's going to go left.
Thinking it's going to go left, and then we do the classic. Dave squares it all up and he hits it straight up the right with a little bit of draw, and he's in the right-hand rough.
Had to happen once in my golfing life.
It did. So picking the right driver, getting the numbers is essential, but we need to think if it is a forgiving driver, a lot of them are draw bias. So on here now, a tricky tee shot here, as we've always said on the third hole. Dave's going to aim just down the right half.
Yeah, that single tree on its own.
Yeah, so just down the right hand side, Dave. So let's give this a good swing. Let's see where it goes. And then we'll start testing the other drivers out here today. So guys, this is going to be followed up tomorrow by the Mizuno STX, so the forgiving Mizuno driver that has just come out. Mizuno making big strides with all clubs. Wedges are fantastic, the golf ball's fantastic, and now has the driver caught up. A little bit more expensive than the Shrixon, £20 more expensive.
Oh, sold.
Fantastic drive, so straight up the right hand side there, drill back nicely to the middle. Be very interesting, Dave, to get down there and see in comparison to last week where that's gone.
And I didn't lose the tee.
And he didn't lose the tee, but guys, we will be testing all of these, including the ZX7 as well as the 2 Mizuno ST drivers. So guys, a great drive down there for Dave. Normally Dave likes to favour towards these trees, so it didn't draw, well it did draw a little bit, but he started it correctly up the right hand side, but he did have to adjust for that. So the ZX5 is a great driver. Dave's liked the looks of it, liked the sound of it. Numbers wise, like you've seen on the tee there, we're around about 10 yards down from the Paradigm, but is 10 yards, well, losing 10 yards worth £100? You know, you're looking around about £100 cheaper for that kind of driver. If you can go and get fitted, it's definitely one for you to test out, guys. So this ZX5 is designed obviously to launch a little bit higher. It's due to be a little bit more forgiving, and that's all the things that a mid-handicap wants to hear. If you're somebody who loses the ball to the right, it's certainly one to consider, but if, like Dave, your tendency is to miss left, it maybe isn't a driver for you. And then one other thing it also mentions on there, which will be on screen now again with all the information, is it's not got much workability. So if you're a mid-handicapper who wants forgiveness but does like to sometimes try and play different shots, this driver is not going to be for you. It's very hard. It is obviously draw bias, so if you're trying to play a fade, it might just stay straight left and it might be a ball gone. But guys, we're going to be testing tomorrow the Mizuno STX driver. So check it out at the same time tomorrow. We're trying to test all the drivers. We've still got a few more to go, but I want you to comment below, guys, what irons do you want to see Dave test? There's plenty out on the range at the moment, plenty of new ones. Which ones do you think will suit Dave? Which ones are you looking for? We'll get Dave out here flushing it, fingers crossed. But guys, we'll see you again tomorrow.
See you soon.